We have nothing to talk about. It's something that we hear from couples all the time, and we felt it too in our own marriage. Most couples reach a point where their conversations are all about logistics, like who's picking up the kids, what's for dinner, and what's next on the calendar. But for your marriage to feel close and connected, you need to be talking about things that actually build emotional intimacy.
In other words, what makes you and your spouse feel known, seen, and understood. That's what helps you reconnect.
Mhm.
Here are a few simple prompts you can use to build emotional intimacy.
So, first question.
First question.
First question. When you think about our future, what are you most excited about?
Hmm. I think of moments, experiences.
Definitely experiences. Definitely experiences.
And so when I say that, though, I'm not just talking about the big grandioso, hey, we're going on our 30th anniversary is actually coming up this year. So it's not just the big event and the
Mhm.
big experience, but what are those everyday experiences and moments that we can enjoy? And sometimes it can be just walking through an airport.
Which we've had a lot lately.
Yeah.
But also the thing with a question like this is that it gets you back on the same team. It gets you looking at the same goals. And anticipation is so powerful in a marriage. Looking forward to something, being excited about something together, planning something together really brings a lot of cohesion
Yep.
to your relationship. So this one I know is a favorite of yours, but what are some of your favorite memories of us?
Are we both answering this question?
Well, we can.
Okay.
And so I'll start.
I wasn't sure if I was just answering all the
I'm just
questions.
gonna put Tony on the spot for this whole time. First, I want to say why I love this question. As a coach, I don't see enough couples remembering those really special times,
Mhm.
those special memories. We can get
Yeah.
so caught up in the present and where we're going that we forget to celebrate. Hey, remember that one time that or remember when we were doing this? Or so some of my most favorite memories of us. The one that literally just popped into mind as I started to say that was a few years ago, I did the California Coastal Trail from Oceanside to Mexico.
We both did.
Well, yes, you're right.
I'm like, what are you talking about? We both did
Well,
that.
well, I was doing all the training for the year that led up to that.
Oh, I
That
gotcha.
was I did not phrase that properly.
Okay.
We did do the trail together from Oceanside to the California Mexico border, and I just loved the. We've got to navigate every day. We've got to figure out where we're going to be. We've got to figure out where we're going to have lunch. And then at the end of the day, where's the Uber going to pick us up and take us back? And so there were a lot of logistics in that, but it was also
Mhm.
just the place of here we are, we're close to home, but we're having this really great adventure
Mhm.
and getting to spend that time doing something that it didn't cost us much,
Mm-mm.
but it was such a transformative experience.
Yeah, that was a really good one. Man, I'm thinking of a moment. Mine's gonna be more recent, I think, as well. Actually, I'm gonna go for an older one. I think one of
You pick.
around recreational intimacy, and it's something
Okay.
that we share often, and I have shared often with folks when we're speaking at either churches or at the Six Pillars at Sea Marriage Getaway.
Mhm.
One of my most memorable moments around our recreational intimacy is when we had younger children, and we would both have one of our children,
Mhm.
and we put them to sleep. Each of us would. And on a particular evening, we would just go, tonight is a night where once we get the children down, it's us time.
Yes.
Because as you guys know, for those of you who have younger children, it can be a lot at times. And so whoever got their child down first would run out, go grab something to eat, bring it back, lay out a blanket on the floor of the living room, light some candles, put some music on, and then hopefully by the time all of that was finished, the other spouse would come out and we would just sit there.
Mhm.
We ended up playing Yahtzee, we play strip Wii, and we would just have fun.
We played other games besides those 2, but those were some of the memorable ones because who plays Yahtzee when their kid's room is right on the other side of the living room wall? Fortunately, we had great sleepers when the kids were little. So, question number 3. What's something new you've been wanting to try or learn?
Mm.
I think for me, I thinking about this question as we were preparing to just have this conversation. And I'm still cycling back around getting into painting, like
Mm,
what Abby used to do. Abby's our daughter, and she's a phenomenal artist, but she only did it for a small window. And I loved the resin, I loved the acrylics. And we've just kind of been in this state of flux with moving from California and where we're going to live in Florida and all this kind of stuff. So that has not taken root, but it is still kind of up there in the brain going, oh, when are we going to do this?
mhm. Dancing,
Yes,
dance
I knew
lessons.
he was going to say that.
That's been on our list for a bit now, and we sort of do it a little bit, but then we sort of falter, and we really need to commit to it and stick to it. I know we say that, and then we don't do it, and so that's part
Well,
of
now
that's
you've recorded it. So
I
now we
know.
have a whole bunch of people
Well,
that are gonna hold.
I think I've recorded it a number of times on the podcast as well, but that's part of life too. There are things that we have talked about doing
Mhm.
for some time that we haven't. And that's a part of marriage. Other things become a priority, and we are looking at this going, all right, but these questions prompt us, and they don't have to be done once and only once. I mean, I think these are questions that Elise and I have asked each other over the last 10 or 15 years at different times and in different ways. And it may just be that prompting in a particular time, in a particular season, where it finally goes, oh, our calendars are opened up. We can now go do some painting.
Yes.
Oh, we can start doing those dance lessons that we've wanted to do.
And learning something new, I just want to say this, learning something new or exploring something that your spouse is interested in is just this incredible bonding. Especially if it's something new, then you're both a little bit uncomfortable and like, hey, how's this going to go down? And if it's something that your spouse is excited about and you discover that and you step into that, they know that you're a little bit uncomfortable. They know that you're stepping out of your comfort zone. And that can actually be super attractive when you're willing to do something that they're like, "Hey, I wanna go do this." What might normally be a no, when that becomes a yes,
Yeah.
is hugely attractive.
Let's ask the last two questions and they can answer those themselves.
All right, question number 4. What helps you feel most loved by me?
Hmm.
I give you a hard time about it. All the little touches, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that we cannot do a photo shoot or take pictures anywhere without there being at least one photo that you just grab my butt. It is the funniest thing. We've been taking pictures together for years, but you were always like, gotta get one smack on the butt. All right. Question number 5. When we're apart, what do you miss most?
Hmm. What's the one thing I miss most? I'd say it's in the evenings, going to
Mhm.
sleep. Throughout the rest of the day, there's a lot that goes on. And yet, when we're apart, I think it is when, you know, getting into bed, slowing down, doing my normal routine, but missing you beside me. So I would say that's one of the biggest things that I miss when we're apart.
I struggle to sleep when you're not around. It's true. But these are 5 questions. The 2 of you can easily take time to ask and answer. And don't forget, the environment matters just as much as the questions. So that means put the phones down and pay attention to one another.
If you're rebuilding emotional intimacy from scratch, maybe try a walk and talk. That can make it feel more natural and less intimidating. We've heard couples say, we have nothing to talk about more times than we can count. But that's often not really the truth. You just need to get intentional about what you ask, where you ask it, and making the time to talk about things that really matter.
If life is full and you feel like you're drifting apart, that doesn't mean your marriage is over. You just need to be intentional about building emotional intimacy. So try one of these questions this week and see what happens. And if you want more practical ideas like this to bring fun, connection, and intimacy back into your marriage, make sure you subscribe.
We're Tony and Elisa DiLorenzo, creators of the 6 Pillars of Intimacy, and everything we share is designed to help you strengthen your marriage in real, tangible ways. We'll see you next time. Love you guys.